Coming up on AgweekTV, we're at Farmfest with a look at the future of farm and carbon policy.
A fast, dry wheat harvest in northwest Minnesota.
The former House Ag Committee Chair talks disaster aid. We'll show you some of the new ag technology that's debuted recently. And we'll take you to a Minnesota farm that's seen 150 spring wheat harvests. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The farm show season is in full swing, and this week we're at Farmfest at the Gilfillian Estate in Redwood County, Minnesota. The show is held in person this year, and for 40 years, Farmfest has brought the ag industry together to talk about important issues. It featured some good food, ride and drive and livestock equipment demos, plus more than 400 agricultural companies displayed their products and services, including several acres of equipment. Farmfest forums covered various topics, including the future of farm policy, with the next farm bill only 2 years away. A cross-section of experts covered everything from conservation and sustainability to crop insurance and ag concentration. Farm leaders like Zippy Duval agree the next farm bill needs to continue to provide a safety net for farmers.
Centerpiece, or the cornerstone, I guess you would say, of the farm bill is our risk management programs and crop insurance. We got to make sure we protect that.
However, former USDA Undersecretary Bill Northey says that doesn't preclude some type of disaster program to eliminate the need for ad hoc assistance.
What do we do in years like this where we got a whole lot of producers that all they get is crop insurance and they need a little bit more to tide them over?
There'll also be new emphasis on the conservation title, but NFU's Rob LaRue says those programs must be voluntary.
Whether it is on working lands or some room for a CRP type contract or even shorter term contracts, so folks can maybe even look at getting those conservation benefits, but also looking to the market for signals.
NCG's Tom Haig says the challenges will be working with the mostly urban House Ag Committee and mostly new leadership.
We got Senator Stabenow back on the Senate side, but on the House side we have two new individuals that, they were on the committee, but they weren't in the position they are in now.
Farm group leaders say they'll soon be gathering input and developing policy to take to Washington to shape the farm bill. Farm policy moving forward will also include some type of carbon program. But how will carbon be measured and what will farmers be paid for it? Agweek's Noah Fish visited with two panelists from another forum here at Farmfest.
I'm here with Jason Weller of the True Terra division of Land O'Lakes and Brian Ryberg, a crop farmer in Buffalo Lake, Minnesota. First of all, we're discussing carbon markets. One of the obvious questions is how do we put value on a carbon credit?
There is not an exchange a farmer can go to, or frankly a buyer of a carbon credit can go to and say, here's today's price, on August 3rd, what we can, off the market to purchase a carbon credit. But in general, they're starting to become a little bit more understanding of what the costs are, so what the farmer's costs are, and what the data collection and soil sampling costs are. So on the cost side, we have a pretty good understanding. And so the question is, will the price start to increase from the buyer's side? We believe at Land O'Lakes that yes, the price will start to go up as more and more companies want to purchase carbon credits.
And Brian, you were talking about you practice a lot of conservation already on your farm. What would it take for someone who doesn't practice conservation on their farm to change to get into a market like this?
Well, everybody likes cash. There's no question about that. But as I stated during our panel, I think you need to do this for more than just the cash. You have to believe in soil health. You have to believe in making those changes for all the right reasons long term to make your soils better, to pass on your farm and create a legacy. Obviously, the cash portion helps offset some costs, and nobody's going to turn that down.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Again, this is Noah Fish at Farmfest 2021 for Agweek.
Some additional disaster assistance for drought may be on the way as the Senate Ag Appropriations Committee approved $7 billion in disaster aid for 2020 and 2021. And last week, the House Ag Committee passed an extension of WIP Plus with funding of $8.5 billion. Former Chair Colin Peterson says, though, that's an improvement.
You'll be able to qualify if you have a D2 county, with 8 weeks of D2 drought. So that gives the Secretary more flexibility.
However, he doesn't think this aid is sustainable.
It's been 4 years of disaster programs that are not being paid for by either the government or the farmers. And I just worry about whether that's going to come back and haunt us.
Peterson says the Ag Committee is also looking at a permanent disaster program, but it will be difficult to do that without undermining crop insurance. Livestock producers in drought areas can often see additional animal health concerns arise. The incidence of disease increases when livestock are under stress, and specifically anthrax is more common when it's hot and dry, so producers should be vaccinating for it. Plus, forage quality is a real concern, especially in the cow herd, so a feed test will be critical.
When we have a drought and we see the nutrient content in the forage and the pastures decrease, we can see all kinds of problems, primarily in that reproductive efficiency.
Water quality is also an issue, and producers need to watch for high levels of sulfates, which can cause poisoning, so Otokoven recommends having water tested. Ahead on AgweekTV, our cereal crops tour continues with stops in Minnesota and North Dakota.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you. From top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. At OK Tire, we're here to keep you going. From Firestone tires and replacements to retreads and even Firestone tracks, we have you covered. Our certified Firestone experts are ready to get you back up and running, no matter if you're on site or in the field, saving you time and money. OK Tire, we keep the tough going.
Growing up as a kid, Gateway was always the grain bin building and the grain handling people that were out in our area. One of the reasons we chose to go with Gateway was they're the leader in the industry and they are the #1 Brock dealer in the United States. We've really liked the Brock design and some of the designs that Gateway has come up with throughout the years. My best advice would be to just put your trust in them and let them come up with the design that's going to fit your needs.
Superior Grain Equipment offers you the industry's best dryer and grain handling equipment. So make the superior choice and get higher quality grains, test weights, and prices while using half the energy. Superior Grain Equipment.
We're going to talk today about a revolutionary auto steer product that you guys have developed.
We back one of these things in, it'll drain a 40-acre patch just within hours.
What can you tell us about what dairy farmers do to make sure that their animals are happy?
Their care is our primary concern.
Is there still time for producers to get storage bins up?
Absolutely. We still can definitely get something up and ready for corn harvest.
Welcome back. Polk County in northwest Minnesota is traditionally the state's top spring wheat producer. 15 million bushels were grown there in 2019 and 2020. But as Mikkel Pates found in this week's Agweek cover story, that number is expected to be much lower this year.
It's very variable. There's some nicer wheat fields and there's some real poor ones.
The Larsons and their ancestors have seen 150 spring wheat harvests on this northwest Minnesota farm. Today, brothers Ben and Matt Larson raise about 2,500 acres of wheat as well as sugar beets and soybeans. Ben Larson says that after a dry fall and winter, wheat planting came early and went smoothly.
We didn't plant wet, so it has a tendency to develop better root structure right off the bat, so I think that's helping us.
Larson says they had subsoil moisture, possibly still left over from the wet fall of 2019. They always shoot for yields of 80 bushels per acre, but this year the crop continued to deteriorate until the harvest got started early on July 25th.
Quality was good, yields down. It's probably half of what we would normally expect.
Some fields will yield more than others. In early tests, quality was good. protein range from 14% to 15.8%, but Larson worries that could in fact cost them at the elevator.
Normally they'll accept up to 15 without a discount, or very little up to 15, and then higher discounts beyond that.
The Larsons say a lot has changed on the farm over the years, but Ben's son Jacob says one thing still holds true.
If you're consistent all the way through, you're going to end up on the good side of things the majority of times, which this fall has been kind of a testament to that.
For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Climax, Minnesota.
You can read more in the next Agweek magazine or at agweek.com. Our Agweek cereal crops tour is also confirming lower yields in the region due to drought. We begin with Jenny Schlecht near Mandan, North Dakota.
This is Jenny Schlecht on the Agweek Cereal Crops Tour, and I'm here with Spence Koenig of Direct Ag Supply. And we're standing in a durum field that is being harvested. And Spence, tell us about what we're seeing in this field.
Well, this field here is it's running about 12 to 13 bushels an acre. The quality is really good on it though, but just the bushels just aren't here though.
What would be good for this part of the state on a normal year?
This should be running probably in that 40 to 50 range.
What kind of issues are we seeing in this durum that lead to that low yield rate? It looks really short, but what else is going on?
Just the lack of rain on this. They fertilized this, they did everything right. There's no weeds, they did a good job on that. Just zero rain.
What have the drought conditions been like in this area?
It's been terrible. Just no rain. All the crops are really suffering. A lot of the small grains have went to hay. This is kind of an exception here. This is durum, but most of the wheat fields have been knocked down for bales already for the cattle.
I think USDA has 3% abandonment figured into their formulas. What do you think is a more realistic number in this part of the state?
Well over 90%. There's hardly any wheat getting combine. Most of it's been baled up already.
So are we seeing the same kind of things in spring wheat and in barley as well?
Yes.
And no one of the cereal crops is doing better than the others. They're all suffering.
It's all, yeah. And then a lot of the guys that are putting the bales up are running into nitrate problems. So we've been going out and helping them take samples of the bales and send them in.
Thanks, Vince. South of Mandan, North Dakota for the Agweek Cereals Crop Tour, this is Jenny Schlecht.
Today I'm with Joachim Wiersma. We're south of Fergus Falls. Joachim, any comments about what kind of grade you give the crop in this area or throughout northwest Minnesota?
The best way I think we can put it is really a mixed bag. There's fields where some of the producers are actually pleasantly surprised with some of the yields where they had feared worse. There's also, individual fields that are indeed not what people had hoped for. And as you may have read earlier this spring, right in June, when everybody already started fearing that this was going to be a lot lower than, because we didn't get any rain. The two things that have really been favorable for wheat has been these cooler nights. The fact that we've been so dry has also allowed us to have very low dew points and very low nighttime temperatures. And so if the crop had enough stored moisture to work with, people are pleasantly surprised. If there's no stored moisture and didn't get any additional rains, that's when we get the really disappointing yields in mid-teens to mid-20s. And so I think one of the take-homes is within areas, within even individual farms, the variability from field to field is probably going to be larger than we've ever seen in a generation.
Thank you to our 2021 sponsors, Calcine, AquaYield, and Corteva Agriscience.
Ahead on AgweekTV, a Fargo company invents technology to make spraying much more efficient.
Dakota Fest is back August 17th through the 19th in Mitchell, South Dakota. Join us and connect with over 400 exhibitors specialized in row crop and livestock farming. Attend ag education sessions and see live equipment demonstrations. Experience new attractions such as mini bull riding and an antique tractor museum. Arrive early to get a pair of Dakota Fest 25th anniversary work gloves while supplies last. Join us at Dakota Fest August 17th through the 19th in Mitchell. For information and discounted tickets, visit dakotafest.com.
Hi, neighbor! I know you didn't ask me to, but I grabbed your mail for you while you were out of town. This one was marked urgent, so I opened it for you. It's your bank statement. Are all those charges right? I highlighted the bottom of page 3 where you can sign up for e-statements.
This isn't my mail.
E-statements with Cornerstone Bank. Keep nosy neighbors at bay by switching today.
At North Star Ag, we're more than your short-line machinery dealer. We're also full service, and we're farmers first. That means we know it's not about what's best, but what's best for your farm. Whether you're planting, growing, or harvesting, we're there for all your equipment, parts, and service needs. And we've been doing it since 2009, with the largest inventory and availability in the area. Check us out at northstar-ag.com or call us at 701-361-4790.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Go beyond the headlines with an Agweek membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Agweek and AgweekTV.
Our weather has been a mixed bag, with some areas of the region getting needed rain. For others, the drought intensifies. Here's John with our Agri-Weather Outlook.
The general outlook over the next couple of weeks, not showing any massive change in the overall pattern. There will, I think, be into the northern plains and upper Midwest a little bit less of the extraordinarily hot weather, but it will still be a generally warmer than average pattern. There will be some very hot days, no doubt about that. Still mainly looking fairly dry, so yes, as we move on through the month of August, the drought continues, and that is essentially saying the drought is getting worse, because the longer you go, the worse things become. Jet stream pattern, one thing you'll note, the jet stream is pretty far north right now and likely to by and large remain that way. As we go through this week, I do expect a couple of things to happen. A new ridge of high pressure will be building up along the west coast. That's going to pull up another round of hot weather into the Pacific Northwest, primarily in the interior areas, though there will definitely be some warmer than average weather into Portland and Seattle as well. Here in the Central Plains, there'll be a temporary trough passing through. That'll give us a couple of chances of thunderstorms, likely fairly scattered, and then a little temporary trend of not as hot weather. I don't expect any major cool down, but there'll be some days where places like Minnesota, North Dakota will be upper 70s, lower 80s, a little bit cooler. Hot weather will continue down south. This is typical summer hot weather. There will be some pretty warm weather building up in the eastern part of the continent, and especially right along the coast, with some 90s up into Maine. That will happen, looks like several days later on this week. And as we get toward the weekend, there is evidence that we'll start to see those 90s becoming far more widespread across the northern plains again. Although there may be some settling, I do expect to see some temps near 100 degrees, or maybe even into the lower hundreds by the weekend, getting up into portions, probably the western and central parts of North Dakota, that far to the north. As we get into the second week, jet stream pattern is still pretty far up north. We will see a temporary little wave dropping through. Again, just a fleeting chance for rain. This general jet stream pattern is expected to be relatively weak, which will likely limit the precipitation chances overall over the next couple of weeks. There will be some strong storms in the eastern part of the Corn Belt, the Midwest. Fairly showery weather up and down the eastern seaboard this week. The northern Rockies and the west coast primarily dry. The southwest monsoon is on. That will continue. There will be some scattered storms from time to time down in Arizona and New Mexico. For the second week, not a big change. Still going to be mostly dry, if not completely dry, for the northern plains, the northern Rockies, and California. The fire problem will continue. The wet part of the country will continue to be the Atlantic seaboard and the eastern part of the Corn Belt, the western Corn Belt, and the north looking dry.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. At OK Tire, we're here to keep you going. From Firestone tires and replacements to retreads and even Firestone tracks, we have you covered. Our certified Firestone experts are ready to get you back up and running, no matter if you're on site or in the field, saving you time and money. OK Tire, we keep the tough going.
Challenges. We all face them at some time. But it seems that ag has seen its fair share over the past few years. Has your farming operation been able to stand the challenges? If not, maybe it's time to talk to the risk management specialist at Martinson Ag. We can help you make the sound decisions to help your operation weather the storm. Martinson Ag, your one-stop shop for crop insurance, livestock insurance, and marketing. We are here to take your operation to the next level.
For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Agweek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. A Fargo ag tech company showed off its breakthrough in spray technology recently at the Grand Farm south of Fargo. Spraying is one of the most important jobs on the farm, but it can also be one of the trickiest. But Intelligent Ag has come up with technology that monitors spray pressure and flow out of every nozzle tip. Recon Spray Sense is a sensor that goes on sprayers to let you know whether a nozzle is starting to wear out, putting out too much spray, or is clogged, inhibiting flow.
Basically, this sensor plus an iPad gives us full real-time visibility into what's happening on my sprayer, so I can make sure that the quality of the job that I'm doing is absolutely top-notch and right on target.
Intelligent Ag has been testing the sensors on several plots at the Grand Farm to show their effectiveness. Speaking of new technology, the AgPHD Field Day resumed with farmers from around the country anxious to find out about the cutting-edge advancements in crop production. The most popular sessions featured top-yielding farmers like Iowa's Kelly Garrett, who pushes yields through a combined approach.
On corn, it would be foliar applications, hybrid selection, PGRs, plant growth regulators, things like that, variable rate applications of things.
Hefty Seeds also conducted hundreds of research trials that were also on display, looking at everything from new herbicide-tolerant trait lines to fungicides, and the biggest push is in the biologicals.
And guys continue to try and improve soil health and soil fertility, and some of the things that in the Midwest here we deal with. We may have organic matter and stuff, but there's also times when we have nutrients that are tied up. So the biology space, I think, is big.
There were also field demos, including an autonomous tractor and grain cart, plus a new strip till machine. The Soil Warrior Edge is a 3-point mounted system that goes from 8 rows to 18 rows.
It's convertible from shank to coulter, back and forth. You can run a single coulter, a shank and a coulter, or 3 coulters. And you can convert to any type of fertilizer system.
Strip till is popular in the Western Corn Belt as it puts the fertilizer in a zone right where the plant needs it, which increases efficiency. Still ahead, produce trucks are popular this time of year, and one family has turned it into a big business.
For home delivery of Agweek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Dakota Fest is back August 17th through the 19th in Mitchell, South Dakota. Join us and connect with over 400 exhibitors specialized in row crop and livestock farming. Attend ag education sessions and see live equipment demonstrations. Experience new attractions such as mini bull riding and an antique tractor museum. Arrive early to get a pair of Dakota Fest 25th anniversary work gloves while supplies last. Join us at Dakota Fest August 17th through the 19th in Mitchell. For information and discounted tickets, visit dakotafest.com.
You can get the field results you want in varying conditions with the flexibility of the Summers VRT Renegade. Featuring on-the-fly blade angle adjustment from 0 to 19 degrees. And if you want the simplicity of a super coulter with the ability to move a little dirt, you'll love the all-new Summers Super Coulter Samurai. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about North America's broadest line of tillage equipment and other products from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
At Trans Systems, every day is a great day to haul beets. Our family-owned business moves more beets than anyone in the world. We enjoy good work and good pay, and many of us have been here for decades because it's a place where our opinions are heard and our accomplishments are seen. We're your home every day and can take summers off. Here, our safety and yours matter most. Trans Systems, a sweet haul in the Red River Valley since 1983.
For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Agweek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. The Blattner family is well known in southeast Minnesota for its fresh produce. Their Produce Plus corn stands have been selling their sought-after sweet corn for more than 30 years. Mike and Christy Blattner sell a variety of produce raised on their farm near Eota. They run as many as 40 trucks and continue to grow each year. Blake, their youngest, plans to take over the business when his parents retire. He says this year's weather has been a bit challenging.
Kind of got started a little bit later than we thought, but I mean, it bounced back. So, and some of our fields have irrigation or something, so I mean, that kind of helped it catch up to where it should be, and so everything's doing good now.
In addition to running most of the produce trucks in the Rochester area, the Blattners' business extends into Iowa and Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Agweek TV from Farmfest. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have yourself a great and safe week.